Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Crimes. I'm your host, as always, Tyler Gruff on Rebic. That's right, everyone. The Gruff has returned once again, and today we're going to be looking into the shocking case of Bobby Joe Long, the classified ads rapist. He was also like a serial killer too. I mean, he was just rapist is what he was like mostly well known for in the very beginning and stuff. He was mostly just going around. I don't want to spoil it. Well, I mean, it's not really much of a spoiler. So, I mean, this guy like was a pretty big case for quite a while. So, probably still what? I mean, he probably still is like to his victims and stuff because victims don't ever forget anything, and that's sad. Sad for them and everything. I'm sorry. Anyways, you probably can hear me a lot better now. I went ahead and invested in a little technology. Got a microphone and a stand, so that's why everything seems a little more still. And of course, I have my beloved fiance, soon-to-be wife, to help me with everything as usual and stuff. But now I'm giving her a rest, so that way she doesn't have to hold it, and her arms or get all tired and everything. Love you, sweetheart. And yeah, so here we are again. And yes, just so everyone knows, you probably can't see right now. I'm gonna get a tripod at some point. I'm pouring sugar into the coffee, as always. This is Coffee and Crimes, after all. So, I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I didn't put coffee into the criminal cases, right? Well, I guess I'm not putting anything in the criminal cases. I'm talking about the criminal cases. I'm not putting anything in the criminal cases. Okay, I probably put too much sugar in my coffee as it is. I can only imagine how bad the sound is on the microphone of me stirring my coffee. So, yeah, I'm sorry about this for everyone out there. Also, to everyone who watched my Robert Hansen video last about several days ago, because I'm becoming notoriously slow at recording these videos, I want to say thank you for everyone who watched it. It's the first video to actually go up to past 100 views, so I'm really proud. I feel like I'm really getting out there in the world and stuff. And yeah, to the comments out there that say to the comments that some of the comments I've read of people saying that I'm not funny and that I'm using Wikipedia or whatever for the cases, I'll have you know that I don't write these cases. I ask people to write them for me, and they send them to me. And if they copied Wikipedia, or if they copied another source, or if they wrote it from knowledge or something, then it's out of my hands. I mean, good credit to whoever it's due and everyone. And for those of you who say I'm not funny, I'll have you know I laugh at myself. And if you can't laugh at yourself, then you're not funny. If I make other people laugh in the process, I mean, that's icing on the cake and stuff. I think I'm a very funny person. And if you don't think I'm funny, well, then you just don't understand what humor is. Oh, yeah, that's good coffee right there. All right, crew. Let's get on with the game. Serial killers, as mentioned in other episodes, are an evil lot that cause unmentionable harm to others and their families. Some target particular types of people for past upsets, like that, what was his name? Hansen guy? Yeah, Dean Hansen. Dean Hansen. No, Dean Hansen didn't. Who the hell's Dean Hansen? Robert Hansen, upsets of the past, any minor thing, piss the guy off, and he just goes crazy and he kills you or sets the school on fire. General dislike, or because the serial killer is a nut job that didn't get proper counseling. I mean, that could probably be the main reason anybody does anything evil and vicious. They just didn't get the right counseling. But then again, there are some people that say counseling is a big joke, but I would beg to differ. I've seen it work. Yes, this may be more than we think. Today, we look into one such psychotic who took his hatred for people and increased it into one type of evil and then into another. Today, we look into the case of Bobby Joe Long, the classified ad rapist. Intro. Robert Joseph Long was born on October 14th, 1953, in the city of Kenova, West Virginia. That was a long time ago. I mean, it was way before I was born. His parents were Joseph and Luella Long, although some have also said her name may have been Luetta. So it's Luella. We're going to go with Luella here because that's what's written. However, his parents split not long after his birth, and he moved with his mother to Miami, Florida. Ah, Miami. I don't think I've ever been to Miami. I've heard about it though. It's quite a place. At the age of 5, Long fell off a swing and suffered a head injury. This would be the first of a diverse list of head injuries Long would suffer. Something tells me that might have a part in what he does in the time to come. I'm not saying everybody who suffers head injuries is going to grow up to become a serial killer or anything like that. I mean, I have a sibling that has had 10,000 concussions, and as far as I know, they're still doing good and haven't murdered anybody yet. Allegedly. Possibly. Bobby Joe Long would later have a strained relationship with Luella, with whom he shared a bed with until he was 13. What? He slept with his mom until she was they slept in the same bed together, or they slept together in a carnal way? I don't know. Often despising the way she would go out in revealing outfits as she worked as a cocktail waitress, and repeatedly brought home men from work, forcing Long to sleep on the floor or on the couch. I mean, could you not just get your own bed? I mean, I think I'd rather sleep in the bed than sleep with my mother. I mean, especially if I was 13. What? When he reached puberty, Bobby Joe discovered he was developing in ways that other boys in school were not, especially in the chest area. He's probably lifting weights, building up and everything. The youth had developed a large pair of breasts along with other features. Like women breasts? Sorry. A visit to the doctor would diagnose Long with a variant of Klinefelter syndrome, this being a genetic disorder in which someone is born with an extra X chromosome. Okay, yeah, so men have Y chromosome, and is it chromosome or chromosome? And women have an X chromosome. When women have 2 X's, men have YX. XY, YX, XYZ. So he apparently had YXX, or XYX, or XXY. The disorder often causes breasts to develop, while the testicles never fully develop or develop poorly, and almost always cause infertility in men. Oh, that sucks. So, is he gonna have kids? That's terrible. Long was teased unmercifully because of his breasts and his weight issues. During his adolescence, Bobby Joe received a breast reduction surgery, which increased his confidence. Okay, well, there you go. I mean, I don't know, what the surgery is for that kind of thing. Does it have, scars? I mean, I'm sure it has scars, but, just say you were wounded in a knife fight. That's what I would say if I had scars on my chest from that kind of thing. I'd say I was wounded in a knife fight. I was wounded saving a squirrel. A squirrel fell out of a tree, and I ran over to help it, and I was jumped by a gang of raccoons who tried to stab me to death. Bobby Joe had begun dating in high school, and his girlfriend was Cynthia Bartlett. Cynthia would witness Bobby Joe's violent outbursts and noted he had unparalleled animosity toward his mother for her lifestyle. Dude. Who cares? Are you still sleeping with your mom? What's your girlfriend think of that? Bobby Joe Long enlisted in the Army after high school, marrying Cynthia in 1974. However, Long would suffer another serious head injury, oh my god, due to a motorcycle crash which caused him to develop a TBI, or a traumatic brain injury. Long would have violent outbursts in the hospital and developed an increased obsession with sex, often engaging in masturbation around 5 times a day to end his boredom. 5 times a day? Bro. I mean, obviously his stuff works. I mean, he's got that Kleinfelters and stuff, but I mean, obviously he's not his stuff. His plumbing does work down there. Does that cause? Will that cause? I don't know. This is not biology in coffee. This is coffee and crime. I forgot what it's called. This is coffee and crimes, not coffee and biology facts. And no, that will not be a channel in the future. Bobby Joe and Cynthia had 2 children. Oh, okay, he could have children. 2 of them? Wow. Huh. That must have been like a miracle. Together. However, their marriage would take a turn for the worst, and Bobby Joe would begin abusing Cynthia, once choking her out and slamming her head into a television. Oh my god. Threatening to kill her if she told the hospital how she got her wounds. I mean, damn. Bobby Joe would also begin raping Cynthia, attacking her, and later apologizing profusely while crying relentlessly. Oh my god, yeah, tears really work. I'm sure apologizing while you're crying and stuff is really gonna make someone forgive you for raping them. Freak. That's such a dick thing to do. Like, spousal rape is a real thing out there. And, I mean, I okay, like, I know, like, before, like, the 70s or 80s, something like that, there was there wasn't really a law against that kind of thing. But I'm sure by, what is this, the 70s? Okay, so maybe there wasn't a law back then. What's her name? That Loretta Bobbitt. Cynthia should go Loretta Bobbitt on him. She should, like cut his wing off and throw it out a window. Just pray that he doesn't find it, because then we'd have to deal with another John Wayne Bobbitt. I mean, no disrespect to John Wayne Bobbitt out in the world and stuff. Please don't sue me. I thought your music was okay. The other things that you did, I could have lived without seeing. Not that I saw them, but I did hear about them. And I would much... Moving on. Cynthia once admitted she came close to killing Bobby Joe while he slept, aiming a shotgun at him, but stood there for several hours and realized that she couldn't bring herself to do so. And ultimately, in 1980, Cynthia took the kids, left, and divorced Bobby Joe Long. At least she got away. Crimes. Bobby Joe Long began to stalk through the classified ads, searching for items for sale, while his sexual desire began to intensify to horrific levels. After finding an item he wanted, he would travel to the seller's home and see if they were alone. He would then inquire about the item, pull a knife on them, bind and rob their home using a rape kit he brought with himself. Afterwards, Long would rape the seller and leave. Okay, so it wasn't like a rape kit that the police have to see if the person had been raped. It was like a self... Okay, that's fucked up. While a solid number isn't available, it is believed that between 1981 and 1984, Bobby Joe raped over 50 women in Fort Lauderdale, Ocala, Miami, and Dade County this way. Oh my god. 50 women? And he was never caught for that? I mean, like, I don't know. You hear about people who sexually assault another person and stuff, and then they don't kidnap them or kill them. They usually tend to get caught. I mean, did they not have rape tests back then? Did they? Then again, maybe they were too afraid to give detail. I don't know. Maybe we'll read on and see what happens. In 1981, Long was convicted of rape. Okay. But requested a new trial, and the charges were dropped. What? Damn, he must have had a pretty good lawyer, because he should be like paying that lawyer off some serious cash for what does he do for a living? Has it said? He probably steals and sells stuff. In 1984, Long moved from Miami to Tampa, Florida. Long would travel the Nebraska Avenue in his 1978 maroon Dodge Magnum. I have no clue what that is. I'm assuming it's a car or a truck. I don't know. He would peruse the many clubs and bars to find sex workers. When he found his victim, he would persuade them into his vehicle, rape and beat them, drive to a deserted location, and kill his victim. Afterwards, he would pose their corpse in macabre, grotesque positions. Damn, Bobby Joe. It's a bad taste in my mouth about this whole thing. It's just gross. His first victim was 20-year-old Artis Wick. Artis? Artis. Artiss. Artis. Whom Long abducted, raped, and murdered by strangulation on March 27, 1984. Her remains were discovered on November 22nd of 1984. On May 13th, 19-year-old exotic dancer... Okay, this is probably like a Vietnamese name, so I'm sorry if I say it wrong. Nguyen Dai Lana Long. Well, her last name was Long, but I'm assuming they weren't related because she's not like from the area. Was discovered strangled and nude in a field. I'm also sorry to the victim's family. I don't know how to say the name. I should have just said Lana. I shouldn't have worried about saying the full name, but I'm trying to do it right. On May 27th, former California beauty contestant Michelle Sims, 22, was found off an Interstate 4 overpass. She was nude, bound, and her throat had been slashed open. Oh, God. She had fallen into drug use and sex work. Oh, that's sad. On June 24th, 22-year-old Elizabeth Ludenbach's remains were discovered in an orange grove. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. While other victims had been sex workers, Ludenbach was a factory worker that was simply walking Nebraska Avenue to her home when she was abducted on June 8th. Wrong place at the wrong time. Damn. Long's fifth victim was 21-year-old Vicki Elliott, who had disappeared on September 7th from waitressing at the Ramada Inn. She was found on November 16th. She had been murdered by strangulation. October 7th, 18-year-old Chanel Williams was found. She had been abducted from Nebraska Avenue, where she had worked as a sex worker. Unlike previous victims, Williams was African American and had been murdered by a gunshot. She was found nude with her clothes beside her. Oh my God, have some decency, man. Damn. Like when they find a deceased person, like the remains of somebody. I mean, why do they gotta find them nude, like with her clothes beside her and stuff? Dress the body. Don't leave it nude, you sick bastard. Oh my God, that just kind of irritates me. A week later, the body of another sex worker, Karen Dinsfried, 28, was found in another orange grove. She had been strangled and bludgeoned. There were ligature marks on her neck, and she had been bound. The remains of 22-year-old Kimberly Hops was found on the side of US 301 north on Halloween of 1984. However, Bobby Joe was not suspected right away. She was nude, but exposure had made her body hard to identify. This is terrible. Like, God. I don't like it when people stalk and hurt people. This is the kind of shit that would keep me awake at night if I wasn't like desensitized from Halloween and horror films and stuff like that. On November 3rd, 1984, 17-year-old Lisa McVeigh was riding her bike home from the Krispy Kreme she worked around 2 a.m. Damn, how late does Krispy Kreme stay open? Long ran up to her, pushed her off her bike, and dragged her into his car. He blindfolded McVeigh, drove her to his home, and proceeded to rape her for 26 hours straight. Oh my God. McVeigh had been contemplating suicide several hours before the attack, having even gone to writing a note due to the years of emotional sexual abuse from her grandmother's boyfriend. She would later state that this event of being kidnapped had fueled her urge to survive rather than to let herself die. So that's like an opposite effect. I mean, I'm sure she's not thankful that this is happening to her, but she's thankful that it gave her a new lease on life. Oh, it says she would later state, so I'm assuming she survives. That's awesome. It's great news. McVeigh attempted to connect with Long after he had raped and sodomized her. Long washed and brushed her hair while in his bathroom. McVeigh asked Long why he was doing this, and he blamed it on his hatred of women. I'm assuming this has something to go back to his mother, who he slept with. Like, that's weird. I'm sorry. Long didn't stop there, discussing his problems with women in general, and in detail with practically all of the women he had been with. Dude, you were like married once, and everybody else that you've been with, you raped, including your wife. You fucking sicko. That's why you have problems with women. I don't think he has a problem with women. I think he has problems with sex. Like obsession, nymphomania, grotesque nymphomania. And the dude's running around acting like he has misogyny. He hates women and stuff. He doesn't hate women. He's first he's got like TBIs, so he's got brain damage. Not that that's an excuse, but it is it could be considered a trigger, so to speak. And he's like a nymphomaniac, and I'm sure the Klinefelter might have something to do with that as well. He probably has like well, I don't know. That's like an increase in estrogen in the body with low testosterone. So obviously, or maybe he's taking testosterone shots. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't think he's a misogynist. I think he's a severely insane psychopath. Probably a sociopath, judging by the fact that he takes it out on everybody. McVeigh offered to be his girlfriend and promised to say nothing about the abduction and rape. Despite being blindfolded, McVeigh touched everything she could to leave fingerprints in an effort to help police if they ever made it this far. That's an intelligent woman right there. I like this woman, Lisa McVeigh. I like the intelligence. That's good. On November 4th, Bobby Joe took McVeigh into his car and began to drive. First stopping off at an ATM machine, she peered from under her blindfold and spotted the word Magnum on his car dashboard. Long drove further, pulled over, and told McVeigh to get out of his car, ordering her to keep the blindfold on for another 5 minutes. Okay. After this, Long drove away, and McVeigh hurriedly ran to alert the police. Oh, okay, so he let her go. I don't get it. If this dude is so worried about, like, this dude's been killing everybody and stuff, and he kidnapped this woman, abducted her, raped her, did his normal routine, but then he lets her go? I mean, because she promised not to say anything, and she offered to be his companion. I guess that worked. Capture. Lisa McVeigh told the police everything she could, including the including the color of the car, the word Magnum, the red carpet in Long's home and car, and stated he had used an ATM right before dropping her off. A forensic test revealed that McVeigh's clothing had red carpet fibers that had also been discovered on the bodies of his other victims that had been left into the fields and the groves. Wow. Another two remains were discovered soon: 18-year-old Virginia Johnson on November 6th and 21-year-old Kim Swan 6 days later. Johnson's remains were solely bones, but a cord was found at the scene. Swan had been an exotic dancer and had marks on her neck and wrists. Both crime scenes also included red carpet fibers. The police were able to get a list of all 78 Dodge Magnum owners in the county and subpoenaed the records for the ATMs in North Tampa. They found one had been used on November 4th at 3 a.m. by Bobby Joe Long. Well, I think they got him. The police would put surveillance on Long's house for 24 hours until gaining a warrant and arresting him on November 16th for Lisa McVeigh's abduction and rape. During the interrogation, Bobby Joe confessed to his crimes against McVeigh, but denied any and all involvement in the murders. Right, okay. Yeah, let's see how well that works out. However, the police revealed evidence of the red carpet fibers from his car, and he knew that there was no beating the charges and confessed. Well, it didn't take long. The detectives had the confession and evidence to attribute 10 murders to Bobby Joe and the rape of Lisa McVeigh. Wow. Oh, 10 murders and the rape of Lisa, abduction and rape of Lisa McVeigh. Okay. Trial and execution. Oh, they executed him. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Gas chamber that bitch. Bobby Joe Long. Bitch. Long agreed to a plea bargain in 1985 in which he would plead guilty to 8 of the murders while acknowledging the other 2 that had been discovered after his arrest. Damn. He would also plead guilty to the rapes he committed and the abductions. Long received 28 life sentences without parole. Oh my God. Yes, usually we talk about people getting 2 or 3 life sentences back to back, and it's like this guy got 28 life sentences without parole. What? And that itself is like an execution right there, because dude's gonna be in prison for the rest of existence, the rest of eternity. 28 lifetimes, and 7 life sentences with the possibility of what? 7 life sentences with the possibility of parole after 25 years. I can't be the only one that does not make sense to. 28 life sentences and 7 life sentences with the possibility of parole after 25 years. So let's think about that. Let's think about 25, and I'm assuming that's per sentence. So 7 times 25, that's 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. I suck at math. 125, 150, 175. So 175 years goes by, and he's eligible for parole, but he's not because he still has 28 other life sentences that don't get parole. What kind of sense does that make? In July of 1986, Long was found guilty of the death of Michelle Sims, or the murder of Michelle Sims, and sentenced to death. Why sentence him to death? He's going to die anyway. He's going to be in there for 10,000 years. Long while exiting the courtroom following this conviction, Long spotted a reporter filming the trial and spat at the camera. Classy guy. He had also been sentenced to death for the murder of Virginia Johnson, but appealed this sentence and was acquitted for her murder. What? Dude, what the hell is your lawyer smoking? He's acquitting you for the murder of this victim, but he managed to get you a death penalty and 1,000 years, and wow. Ultimately, according to the Florida Department of Corrections, Robert Joseph Bobby Joe Long was serving a 5-year sentence, 4 99-year sentences, 28 life sentences, and a death sentence. Holy shit. I can just imagine, after that 5-year sentence, you think to yourself, man, I beat that 5 years. Now you got to survive. Now it's got, 400-year sentences, 28 life sentences, and, the death penalty. So it's there's no celebrate. And you shouldn't celebrate. You're a sick bastard, and you just need to. Yeah. On April 23rd, 2019, Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis an awesome last name. DeSantis? I swear, I'm gonna start like a YouTube channel where I like talk about last names and what they mean, and like every video will be a different last name, and I'll like talk about the history behind it and stuff. That sounds pretty awesome. Moving on. Signed off on Long's death warrant, and he was executed on May 23rd by lethal injection, 30 years after his conviction. Okay, so 30 years after his conviction. Why did it take so long to execute him? Why does it take so long to execute people on death row? So he served that 5-year sentence, and he was about 25 years into his first 99-year sentence. Wow. His final meal was roast beef, bacon, french fries, and a soda. He left no final statement. Well, that's okay, because I'm sure nobody had any interest in what he had to say. Final notes. Number 1. Bobby Joe Long was not the only serial killer in his family. His cousin was Henry Lee Lucas, the Confessions Killer. Really? Who died in prison after having been convicted of 3 murders, while initially having claimed 300 between 1960 and 1983. Wow. I guess he was kind of just screwed from the start. Well, they're like distant cousin, right? Or were they close cousins? They don't say. Lisa McVeigh has credited her abduction and survival from Bobby Joe Long to have saved her life. She later went on several different true crime shows to discuss the events. A Lifetime movie was even made about her survival in 2018, starring Katie Douglas as Lisa McVeigh and Donald Sutherland's son, Rossif, as Bobby Joe Long. Yeah, I had no idea who Rossif Sutherland was. But then the other day, I watched Orphan First Kill, which, by the way, awesome movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Excellent film. And he was in that film, and he was just like, he looks just like Donald Sutherland. I mean, most people don't know about Donald Sutherland's kids other than Kiefer Sutherland, which I don't particularly like Kiefer Sutherland other than his role in The Lost Boys, but his Donald Sutherland's other son, Angus, was in what's it called, Lost Boys 2. He played the coven. Would it be coven? A vampire coven. No, there's witches covens. What are vampires part of? Family? Clan? Organization? Business? IRS? I don't know. But yeah, basically took over for his brother, playing the part of the head vampire, whose blood you have to drink to get. So yeah, Rossif Sutherland. Yeah. Cynthia Long remarried and also discussed her marriage with Bobby Joe on other true crime shows, including an episode of Evil Lives Here. Bobby Joe Long's official count has often been known, but has apparently possible that he may have murdered more and caused even more rapes during his time on the streets. That was... Oh, I don't understand that. I mean, this one kind of just threw me for a loop. The dude's got Klinefelters, and yet he's having kids, even though they usually don't have that kind of fertility. He's got 2 kids. He was horrible to his wife, horrible to his mother, who, she got him breast reduction surgery, so she obviously wasn't that bad of a person. And then he's terrorizing Tampa and Miami and everything. He's running around answering classified ads and raping people and then killing people. That's just a sick son of a bitch right there. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Our next episode will be out as soon as possible. I understand there's been some upset that we haven't really been on the ball with making these episodes and everything, and I apologize for that. But there's a lot going on, wedding preparations, also getting the equipment ready, and thinking about making like a background or something, like nice background on this. Maybe even switching over to using a computer instead of my phone. We're probably gonna have to get internet here, so Gonna work on that, and I hope you all could hear me. I hope this microphone was an excellent investment. We'll definitely see what happens. Uh, well, if you would like to, please comment, please subscribe, please like this video. You can dislike it, but the dislike button doesn't work, so you can dislike it and just leave it in your heart that you have disliked this video because apparently people don't think I'm funny, but I think I'm a pretty funny person. I mean, I laugh at myself, and other people laugh at me or with me, probably at me. I don't know. All right. Well, I've been your host Tyler, and this has been an episode of Coffee and Crime. See you next time.